Hey there, welcome back to my channel, and let's get right into this topic. This concerns a answer that the Secretary of Defense nominee Pete Hegseth gave during his hearings, his Senate hearings, when he was up for Secretary of Defense. As we all know, he did get the green light, and he is our Secretary of Defense now. But this concerns one of the statements that he made, and we're going to dive into this a little bit, and hopefully I'll get some of your comments. It was covered in many different articles. The one that I'm referring to is in The Hill. A link to that is below. Also, I'll put a little picture of the article up here, but the link to that article is below. So let me just read the answer that Pete Hegseth gave to that question about wokeness in the military. And it concerns the DoD service academies and the war colleges. So I'm going to read that to you. We need more uniformed members going back into West Point, the Air Force Academy, and the Naval Academy as a tour to teach with their wisdom and what they've learned in uniform, instead of just more civilian professors that came from the same left-wing woke universities that they left, and then they try to push that into the service academies, Hegseth said during the confirmation hearings. I kind of think this is kind of interesting. I don't really agree with it. And the reason I don't agree with it is I think that there has to be a balance between the military active duty military professors and the civilian professors, at least at the service academies. That's what we deal with on this channel. I think that the uniformed professors bring a lot to it. They bring a lot of current knowledge. I think they are really good examples for the mids and the cadets. There's a connection between the students and the active duty personnel through them, and they bring a lot of wisdom, like Secretary of Defense Hegseth said. But they bring a lot of real world experience. But on the other hand, there's a lot of subjects and a lot of things that are taught at the service academies that need people with long-term knowledge in the field. And it's not only humanities, it's some of the STEM programs. And it's nice to bring somebody out of active duty, send them to graduate school to learn about history or some subject, and then they come and teach that at the academy for rotation, two or 3 years, and then they leave. There is something to be said about a consistency of the faculty, and I think that consistency is what the civilian faculty bring. You know, it's not only about being in the military at the service academy, it's also about getting a top-notch education. And I believe that the civilian professors help bring that top-notch education to it. They are professionals in that field. They're professional educators, and most of them have doctorate degrees or advanced degrees in their subject matter. They're experts in it. So that's why I believe that having just all military rotating in and out is not necessary. Yes, in some of the STEM classes, such as probably electrical engineering or hydraulics or whatever, it's always great to have, military people teach that. I'll use an example. I mean, who better would you want to teach electronics but somebody who is, a missile specialist, a submariner, somebody like that. They live this every day. But for other subjects, you want people with the professional experience, the learning that they went through to bring that to the midshipmen. And that's why I don't totally agree with what the Secretary of Defense Hegseth said. Now, to counter that, there's a gentleman who was called out in this article, Mark Cantane. He's a senior advisor with the Center for Strategic and International Studies, Defense and Security Department. And let me find what he had to say in response to Secretary of Defense Hegseth. He said, the tension in the blank, particularly in the war colleges, I think also at the academies, but more so in the war colleges, has been, what is the purpose of this institution? Is it educational? In which case you bring in more civilians. Or is it military and to prepare people for a military career, in which case you might lean more heavily in the military? This tension goes back and forth. So I think that the tension between the military education at the service academies is a 50-50. It's a pull and push. I think it's 50-50. And that's why I think there has to be a good distribution of civilians teaching at the academies. Just for some numbers here, this is in the article, you can read that. The Naval Academy said that there's a 50-50 split between military and civilian. The Air Force and Air Force Academy and West Point said there's about a 70% military instructors, 30% civilian, while West Point said that there's 27% faculty with civilians. So basically about the same. So that's my opinion. I don't know if Secretary of Defense Hegseth will be able to act upon this. There is a lot of things going on. It's a lot of things to keep up with this new administration. So I don't know if this will be a thing for him to focus on or if he has people focused on it. But what I really want is you guys to give me your opinion. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there who are Service Academy graduates that follow this channel, and I really like your opinion below. And for those of you who are about to enter or want to enter a Service Academy, I'd like to hear your opinion too. Would you like to have more military instructors or more civilian instructors, or a balance between the both? So let me have your opinion, and thank you so much for watching. I hope this is not as controversial as some of the other videos I've posted about changes that this administration did, but I look forward to your comments. So thank you very much, and bye now.